Hello, and welcome to another segment of the Fitness Whisperer. Thanks for joining me. So today we're going to talk about gym etiquette. Over the last few years, it's been a huge pet peeve of mine. Everybody wants to get into shape, everybody wants to look good, everybody wants to be healthy, and that's great. However, when you are sharing a public space, like going to a public gym, there is a certain etiquette that you have to follow, or people should follow, when they're sharing space, gym equipment, cardio equipment with other people. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I think I'm going to break it down in 3 separate segments. I'm going to talk about first when you actually get to the gym and you go into the change room. Then I'm going to talk about, you want to warm up, so you want to do some cardio. So I'm going to talk about, using the cardio equipment. And then I'm going to break it down a little bit more into using the actual exercise equipment, the free weights, etc. Okay? So first, let's talk about getting into the change room, all right? Now, I'm just gonna kind of gauge it based on the gym that I go to. There's lockers, of course, and there's also little stools, benches, what have you, for you to put your bag down, for you to sit down, change your shoes, whatever, right? What I think is important for people to remember, especially when you go to the gym during the week, like Monday to Wednesday is usually busy, right? When you get to the gym and you have your gym bag, proper etiquette is, instead of putting your gym bag horizontally on the bench or on the stool or on the seat this way, it's proper etiquette to put your gym bag this way, right? Because, of course, you want to make sure that there's a little bit of space just in case someone else wants to come by and put their gym bag down as well, right? What I see way too often are men going into the gym and treating that space like it's their own personal bedroom. They have their gym bag on one stool, it's completely covered with all their stuff. The other stool, they have their shoes, their coat, you name it. And you have to be considerate in the fact that you're not the only person here. There's other people that go to this gym and they pay a membership just like you, and they should be entitled to at least sharing the same space. Proper gym etiquette, okay? So that's the change room. So let's say now you want to go and start doing some cardio. Fine, you get to the treadmill, or you get to the elliptical machine, whatever you pick, and you do your thing. 10, 15 minutes, a half an hour, 45 minutes, you do your cardio, and you're done now. Now, proper gym etiquette is, and I can only assume that a lot of gyms have, you have the paper towel, and beside the paper towel, you have a little squirt container. It's a solution of water and soap, right? What you do when you're done using that cardio equipment is go over there, take off a couple of pieces of paper towel, spray it down with that water and soap solution, go back to the machine that you were just using and wipe the machine down, wipe down the handles, wipe down the display panel where you were touching all those buttons, just completely wipe it down, right? And again, far too often I see people do cardio, they're done on the treadmill, they're done with the elliptical machine, and they just leave. I mean, nobody wants to come use that machine. Meanwhile, I don't want to say germs, but nobody wants to touch a surface that someone else was previously using, sweating, and nobody wants to do that. It's gross. So wipe the equipment down after you're done using it, okay? Common gym etiquette, and it's courtesy. Think about the next person. Just be considerate, right? Now, I'm going to assume that a lot of people especially the new people that are just starting to exercise and they're going to a gym, maybe they just don't know proper etiquette, and that's fine. That's why I'm making this video. So hopefully this video is going to reach those people, especially who are just starting to go to the gym and they're just not familiar with this proper etiquette, okay? And that's fine. So please listen up, all right? So I just talked about going into the change room, what you need to do, share your space, and using the cardio equipment, right? Wiping it down when you're done, okay? So now we're gonna migrate into the exercise, the weight training section, okay? So same thing, after you're done using any particular equipment, may it be the lat pull down, right, where you gotta sit, or the seated row, where you gotta sit, any equipment, just like the cardio, after you're done using it, go get some paper towels, spray it down with some soap and water solution, come back and wipe it down. If you were just using a bench to do tricep extensions, or you put the back of the bench up and you were doing some arm curls, when you're done, wipe everything down. Wipe down where you were seated, wipe down the back of it, where maybe your sweaty head was touching. Wipe everything down. Be considerate of the next person. Nobody wants to go work on a bench that's covered in someone's sweat, right? So just be considerate of that as well, okay? Now, another huge pet peeve of mine, along with working with weights, is, you guys know that that leg press machine. I'm sure a lot of gyms have it. Where you have to stack those weights onto the side. There's two pegs sticking out, and you stack weights onto the side, right? A huge pet peeve of mine is that you got these individuals who stack on, I don't know, 6 or 7 plates on each side, and when they're done, they just leave, right? And again, if you're putting on that much weight onto the leg press machine, for example, be considerate of the other person. You put it on, so you take it off. Take the weights off. Do not be inconsiderate. Think about the fact that you're not the only person who wants to use this equipment, and maybe the next person that comes along is new, and there's no way they can lift that weight. It may be a little bit challenging for them also to take that weight off. Like, what if it's someone that has like hip and knee issues, and moving around for them is difficult, right? Or they have wrist issues. Lifting the weight off, lifting that much weight off might damage their wrist. I mean, I'm just creating a scenario, and chances are that's not the case, but at the same time, that could happen. And even if it doesn't, you're just being considerate. So you put the weight on. If you put that much weight on the leg press machine, you take the weight off and put it back to where it was. Chances are there's maybe one weight on each side, 145 plate or one plate on each side, or when you came to the machine, there was no weight. So the way you find the equipment, the leg press I'm talking about, when you first start, you want to leave it that way as well. Take everything off and also wipe everything down, okay? You want to sanitize, you want to restrict the spread of germs. So wipe it down, be considerate, okay? Now, another thing. Now, let's say, for example, you're in the free weight section, and usually most gyms have mirrors, where the dumbbells are and the barbells are, so people could stand in front of the mirror and, watch their form, make sure they're doing everything properly. They're seeing their reflection, right? And usually, and again, I'm going to talk about my gym, in front of the mirror, there's also the weight rack. So people, for example, if you're exercising in front of the mirror, they might want to reach for a weight that you're actually standing in front of. And what happens a lot of times is when someone is actually exercising, and I'm, for example, doing arm curls in front of the mirror, the weight rack is right in front of them. As they're doing the arm curl, someone comes right in front of them and grabs the weight, that they want, which is fine. But proper gym etiquette is just wait until that individual is done. It may be, an extra 5 or 10 seconds. Just wait for that person to finish. Then you can get the weight, because what you're doing, you're just distracting that person, breaking their concentration, right? And you want to be considerate. Just be considering the fact that this person is probably focusing and concentrating, and you coming in front of their peripheral vision and just, you're just going to startle them and throw them off everything they're doing. So just wait for them to finish. Then you can go and grab the weight. That's fine, okay? Just be considerate. Another thing, speaking about the mirror as well, I'm going to add to it also. If you see someone exercising in front of the mirror and you need to get to a dumbbell that's on the other side, right? Instead of walking in front of this individual, I'm just creating the scenario in which maybe there is a little bit of space between where that person is standing and where the mirror is, and enough space for you to walk right by that person. What I would recommend for you to do is, instead of walking in front of that person, walk around that person. Get to the weight that way, right? You're going to go out of your way an extra 2 or 3 steps. It's no big deal. And again, you do not want to break that person's concentration. Just be conscious of the fact that they're focusing, they're there, they want to get into shape just like you. Just be a little bit courteous and walk around that individual. Do not walk in front of them so you can get that weight, okay? Gym courtesy, gym etiquette, all right? Last but not least, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine. If you're exercising, and I'm going to use deadlifts for example, and the reason is because this happens very often when people are doing deadlifts, okay? So deadlifts is when they're standing, you grab the bar and you come straight up, and then you drop the bar down, you come straight up and you drop it down. Okay, excellent exercise for the hamstrings, the glutes, great exercise. But what happens when a lot of people are lifting deadlifts and for one reason or another they decide to add a little bit more weight? You hear a lot of grunting, ooh, ah, right? It's not necessary. I mean, if what you're doing is causing you to react that way, then I would recommend that you drop the weight, because what a lot of people think that you actually are doing is just trying to draw attention to yourself so everybody can stare at you. Now, chances are you're not a narcissist, but you do not want to make that kind of noise. You do not want to bring that kind of attention to yourself. There's no reason for you to be grunting and moaning when you're doing deadlifts. It's just not necessary. Breathe, chew gum, anything but grunting and groaning. It's just not proper etiquette. Think of it this way. If you're in a library or if you're watching a movie and you hear someone's cell phone go off, or you hear someone having a conversation while you're trying to watch a movie, or you're in the library trying to read, wouldn't that be annoying? It would be. Now, I know the gym is fairly loud. There's usually music going. There's people socializing. I mean, it's not the quietest place. But for those of you out there who can relate to what I'm saying, when these people grunt, that's all you hear. They grunt over and above the music and over and above any other noise that's going on in the gym. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with grunting, but when it gets to the point where everybody can hear it and then they slam the weight down on the floor, it's not necessary. Okay? Just be courteous in the fact that maybe some people do not need to hear or want to hear you grunting. Okay? Now, there is one more thing, and I actually just touched on it as well, and that's the dropping of the weights. Now, may it be deadlifts like I just mentioned, or if you're doing bench press, or if you're doing arm curls and it's a real heavy weight and you just want to drop it, what I would recommend for you to do then, if it's that heavy, have someone spot you, right? Because what I've seen, and this actually happened, this was a few years ago, the gym that I go to, where the free weights are, the floor is rubber, like it's a rubber floor. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. What happened was one individual was doing bench presses and he dropped the weight, and the person beside him, what happened was the dumbbell dropped on like a bit of an angle, and it bounced and turned and it rolled over on this guy's foot. Now, it hurt him a bit. I mean, he was fine after, but that's what could happen. You could actually injure someone, right? So I'm not saying don't lift heavy weights. I mean, if you want to put on muscle mass, you have to put heavy weights on. But if it's to the point where you have to just completely drop the weight, if you don't have someone spotting you that day, then just tone it down a bit. Or instead of doing 10 repetitions, where you completely exhaust yourself and you have to drop it because it's too heavy, maybe do 9 or maybe do 8 that day. It's not worth injuring someone, because what they can do is turn around and sue you, and then you're going to be on the hook to pay this individual's medical bills. And I've seen it before. It didn't happen with this scenario when the weight fell on this, or when the dumbbell rolled on this guy's foot. But what actually happened, and I'll talk about it, I don't have a problem talking about it. Do you guys know those bean bags? They're like bags. They're between 10 to 15 pounds. You grab them, and one exercise is you throw it behind your back, and I guess it's to strengthen, your shoulder muscles in the back and your lower back muscles. Well, what one individual did, he had the bean bag with him, or let's just call it a medicine ball. It was more like a medicine ball. I can't remember how heavy it was, but he had it and he threw it behind his head, and it actually hit someone in the side of the jaw here, neck and shoulder. Really hurt this person. The paramedics had to come, and I heard through the grapevine a few months down the road that person that got injured actually sued the individual that hit him with the medicine ball, right? Tragic. This guy was out for a couple of months. He had a strained neck, but that kind of thing could happen. Chances are, that's a very isolated incident, and chances are things like that won't happen in the gym, but it can happen, and that's my point. It's all about avoiding stuff like that happening. Now, I know I went a bit off from what I was talking about earlier when it comes to gym etiquette, but I just wanted to bring that up as well. Be aware of your surroundings. Do not drop the weight. You might injure someone, and you do not want to get sued. I mean, really, we all have enough stress going on in our life. The last thing you want is to get sued when you're at the gym exercising. It's just not cool. So just be careful, okay? So that is it, folks. That's all I had to say today. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody for sending these emails out to me. I appreciate it. I try to read each and every one. I can't promise that I could get to all of them within a timely fashion, but I do try to get through all my emails within about 3 or 4 days. Okay, so thanks for sending the emails. And also, for those of you out there that are watching me for the first time and you like what I'm saying, just hit the subscribe button. Just follow all my videos. So please subscribe if you like what I'm saying. Okay, so that is it, folks. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.